Jericho Appreciation Society. For over 5 weeks, the recognized symbol of excellence of sports entertainers.
Introducing the next competitor, Ryan Awesome!
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite Quake by the Lake, August the 10th, 2022. Man, oh man, oh man, this was a great show, man. A really great show. Really great show, bro. I really enjoyed this show. Enjoyed the coffin match with Brody and Darby. They beat the living hell out of each other, man, I'm telling you. And the main event with the Lionheart Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. That was the best match on the show. That was the best match on the show. And, you know, they beat the hell out of each other, too. CM Punk is back. CM Punk is back. The real AEW World Champion. We're getting a unification match. We're getting a unification match between Jon Moxley and CM Punk. Whenever it is, most likely it's going to be at All Out. So I cannot wait for that match, dude. Who wins that match? I don't know. I don't know who wins that match. That's a great question. I'm going to talk more about it as I go through the show. Overall, man, this is a really great show, man. It was a really great show tonight. This is the AEW Dynamite review. AEW Dynamite Quake by the Lake review for August the 10th, 2022 on the Ryan Awesome Show. And I say this all the time, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel because I am here each and every single week. We're live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and our first match of the night, we had the Coffin Match. So it was Brody King representing the House of Black versus Darby Allin. And so, yeah, Brody, he was making his entrance, and so Darby, he attacked Brody out of nowhere. And so we had a thumbtack skateboard, and Darby, he used the thumbtack skateboard on Brody. And so Brody, he was bleeding on his face. And then Brody, he got a hold of that skateboard and he hit Darby across the back. And so Darby, he just started bleeding from his back. Right after that, Brody, he had snapped the skateboard in half, so he broke it. Just like what I said earlier, man, these guys, they beat the hell out of each other, man. And then Brody, he was throwing Darby around. That dude was throwing him into the barricade. And, you know, at one point he went into the crowd too. Brody had brought out a table, and so he tried to put Darby through the table. And so Brody, he tried to go for a splash, but Darby had moved out of the way. And so Brody, he crashed and burned through the table. And so right after that, the lights had cut off, and it cut back on. It was Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews. They showed up. And Julia Hart, she was also out there too. And so Julia Hart, she tripped up Darby Allin. She had tripped Darby Allin from outside the ring. And so Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black, they ganged up on Darby. And of course, this is a no disqualification match. And so Brody, he hit a cannonball to Darby through a table. And so the crowd started chanting for Sting. We want Sting. Buddy Matthews, he walked towards the coffin. He had opened up the coffin. And Sting, he was inside of the coffin. And so Sting, he had fought off the House of Black with his baseball bat. Sting, he had different face paint. The other side of his black eye was larger because of the black mist from Malachi Black. Sting, he stood face to face with Black. He had threw his bat to Malachi Black. There's a lot of rhymes in that. There's a lot of rhymes in that sentence, dude. Sting threw the bat to Black, and then Black, he had backed away. Darby, he had grabbed Brody King's chain. He started choking Brody with the chain. He choked Brody out with the chain. And so Brody, he fell into the coffin, and then the lid of the coffin just shut. So that was it with the match. So Darby Allin wins the match. And Darby, he got his win back too, man. He got his win back. And yeah, you kind of knew it was going to end that way anyways because, you know, Darby and Brody had a match on Dynamite 1 week. Brody beat Darby. And Darby got his coffin match, a match that he's undefeated in, the coffin match. So, of course, he's going to get his win back. So the undefeated streak of the coffin match for Darby Allin continues. Right after that, we had Jon Moxley, the AEW Interim World Champion. He was backstage.
I was thinking, since y'all coming at me with your interim just about every 2 seconds, and we already have the FTW belt.
Wow.
Just for fun, what if we called this the FYI belt? Just an idea. This was forged in Cincinnati, Ohio, in Piccadilly. Just like the famed Heart Dungeon in Calgary, this championship is about pain and how much you can endure. For over 2 decades, we have watched the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon, the Lionheart, Chris Jericho, and we have watched his fighting spirit on full display. Tonight, I'm going to test it. And I'm going to push it to its breaking point. And Chris, if your fighting spirit doesn't break, your body will.
So right after that, we had a response from Chris Jericho.
After 2.5 years, tonight, Chris Jericho takes back what's rightfully his. Tonight, I will become the new AEW World Champion. I'm going to beat you, Moxley, and I'll tell you the reason why. You wanted to face Lionheart, Chris Jericho. You wanted to face the last survivor of Stu Hart's dungeon. Well, be careful what you wish for, Mox. Because Stu wasn't some kind of lovable old man. No, he was vicious. He was violent. He was a sadist. And the pain he put me through is something I never wanted to think about again. Until tonight. You talk about painting the canvas red with blood and scattering teeth across the ring. Well, you can fix a tooth. You can heal a cut. But what I'm going to do to you isn't so easily fixable. I'm going to twist you, Mox. I'm going to turn you. I'm going to stretch the shit out of you tonight.
Ooh.
I was the first AEW World Champion, and tonight, Lionheart Chris Jericho, the last survivor of Stu Hart's dungeon, will be the next AEW World Champion. I guarantee it.
So right after that, we had Tornado Tag Team match, and it was Andrade El Idolo and Rush with Jose the Assistant in their corner versus the Lucha Bros, Penta and Rey Fenix with Alex Abrahantes in their corner. I could not take notes in this match, dude. Match was all over the place. So yeah, Fenix, he was diving all over the place. And then Andrade and Rush, they dove onto the Lucha Bros. So we usually don't see Andrade dive over the top rope. Andrade, he had blocked a frog splash from Fenix. And then Andrade, he accidentally took out Rush. Penta, he had a Canadian Destroyer to Andrade on the ring apron. So that looked like it hurt it too, man. Andrade, he had tripped up Fenix on a rope. And then Rush, he had tied him by his mask on a rope. Rush hit a power driver to Fenix. And then Penta, he unmasked himself. He unmasked himself to break up that pinfall. And then Jose, he had took out Abrahantes. And then Andrade, he got a hold of Penta's mask and he had threw it in the crowd. And so the crowd started chanting, "Throw it back, throw it back." So that was funny, man. Rush hit his finishing move, the Bull's Horn, or his signature move, the Bull's Horn, to Fenix. And to end the match, we had Andrade El Idolo. He had a hammerlock DDT to Fenix to win the match. So therefore, Andrade El Idolo and Rush wins the match. And that was it, man. This was a really fun match. So right after that, we had the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. They were backstage. Last week, the Bucks, they got attacked by Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish last week. So they turned on the Bucks. And it was payback. It was payback for Cole.
Brandon, come film this.
Live, guys.
Ready?
Hey, guys.
Right into the Dark Order.
No harm, disrespect. We just wanted to bring Brandon in here to film this. Hey, guys.
Oh, Cutler, by the way, we have a BTE bit we need to film after this, so stick around, all right?
Okay. Do you want us to step out for this?
No, they're fine. They're good.
I think it's cool. We wanted the whole world to see this. Hangman, we wanted to thank you. Thanks for saving our butts last week.
Yeah,
We didn't have to do that.
Word on the street is those guys aren't going to be around for a long time. And you didn't have to do that. I mean, the world has seen how we've treated you, what we've said about you, what we've done to you. I'm not proud of it, and if I could take it all back, I would. Honestly, like, dude, I was just thinking about it. I've been reminiscing a lot, and it's like my favorite time of my career, hell, my life, was when the three of us, the other guys, the whole group, the whole gang, we were together, we were running and we were gunning and we were doing this thing, right? We were building up a revolution that ended up being called All Elite Wrestling. The camaraderie, the friendship, the bond, and then we got here, and everything, it just got so weird. And I know you feel that way. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the money, the television time, the fame. I got weird. I got selfish. And again, if I could take it all back, I would. I just want to say I'm sorry. I mean that. And we're in this building, right? You know this building, why this building's special. This is where you won the world title.
Yeah.
And I stood from afar and I watched you do that, and I was so proud of you, and I wanted to tell you how proud of you I was, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't even get the courage to man up and just say congratulations. And I couldn't. You became a superstar. You were the elite right there. You weren't just the other guy in the elite. You were the elite, and I was so proud of you. And God, I really wish I would have enjoyed the journey more than the destination, because I could never get those years back. And now I don't know what I am. I look in the mirror and maybe I am a bad person. Maybe the people, the trolls on the internet are right. They say I'm despicable, Nick's despicable, we're selfish, we're arrogant, we hold people back. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're onto something, right? Maybe we're bad people, but I know one thing. When we're around you, you bring out the good in us. And that's why I got Brandon right here with his camera. I wanted to ask you right here, right now, will you be our trios partner next week? The Hung Bucks, man. We can take on everybody. Nobody can stop the Hung Bucks. What do you say we do it next week? We can do this thing one last time.
I knew this would happen. God, I'm sorry. I would love to, guys. I would love to. I can't.
Oh.
And I know you said when I won the world title here, you were so proud and you wanted to tell me congratulations, but you didn't. And these guys, they did, right? They were there. They've been with me for these past couple of years. They've been my friends the way that you were. And with this Trios Championship, this Trios Tournament, I feel like this is their chance, right? And I should have their back the way that they've always had mine. And I'm not going to be in the Trios Tournament at all. They are, right? They're the trio. I'm going to be in their corner. And if I'm in their corner, I can't be on your team too. It's I shouldn't. I'm going to be in their corner for this. So I'm sorry. I mean, anyway, if you guys
makes sense, though, yeah.
If you guys are going to have a partner, it should be somebody who never turned their back on you anyway. So.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh.
No worries, man. It's cool. No worries, man. No, it's cool.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'll shoot you a text later. Good to see you guys.
Good luck in the tournament.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck, guys. Goodbye.
Wow. Rejected, man.
Guys, I think Hangman might have been talking about me for your partner.
Shut up, Brandon. Turn off the damn camera.
Oh, man. But yeah, that was it. So that's a no. From Hangman Adam Page. They will end up getting a partner. It's going to be Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, he should be on his way back. Right after that, we had a match. It was Luchasaurus versus Anthony Henry with JD Drake in his corner. And so Jungle Boy, he was on commentary. If you guys heard his music just now. And then Luchasaurus, he had a German suplex to Henry, dude. And Henry, he landed right on the back of his neck, dude. And so Luchasaurus, he had a Death Valley driver to Henry to win the match. So therefore, Luchasaurus wins the match. And so right after the match, Luchasaurus, he was celebrating. And so they got interrupted by Christian Cage, who was via satellite.
Impressive win, Luchasaurus. Very impressive. Now, Jungle Boy, I was going to come out there, rip that headset off your head, and slap the shit out of you right here,
Ooh, right now. God dang.
The people of Minneapolis.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's on his way to the back.
He knows where Christian
You know exactly where he at.
Right there. Besides, Jungle Boy, I'm having way too much fun. Way too much fun.
Uh-oh. Security holding him back. Luchasaurus. Oh.
The security guards.
God. Oh, man. Pat Buck.
Just headbutted.
Check on it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Dude, that was great. That was funny, man. That was funny, bro. Christian and Jungle Boy, they're going to fight it all out. So right after that, we had Miro. He was backstage. He had some words he wanted to say about the House of Black, Malachi Black and the House of Black.
Malachi, you've put me through changes. dragged me into the dark. But then I saw hell was empty. Because all the devils are here.
Uh-oh. Julia Hart.
Embrace the gift.
Oh.
Give into it like I did.
We must stay focused, brothers. There's only one woman who can touch the Redeemer, and you are not her.
Wow.
Go and tell your pagans that I accept their gift. I own it, and I'm going to use it to destroy them. My war path to my God is clear now, and it leads directly to the House of Black. This is the word of the Redeemer.
Amen. Yeah, what are they doing with Miro, man? What are they doing, man? Gotta get Miro in the ring, bro. They've been talking about each other for the longest. When we're gonna get a match with them, probably needs to be an all out. The way they've been talking about each other, and you know how long that has been built up. So right after that, we had Mark Henry. He interviews Powerhouse Hobbs.
Will Hobbs, is it safe to assume after what
Will Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs.
that you're done with Ricky Starks?
Whoa, Mark.
QT
Will Hobbs,
Factory.
This is
Ooh.
Powerhouse Hobbs, and is he done with Ricky Starks? I mean, he left some crumbs, but tonight, Aaron Solo in the Factory, we're gonna sprinkle the rest of those crumbs all over the ring like Parmesan cheese on Mama Spaghetti. You know what I'm talking about, Mark. Will, you don't need to worry about guys like Ricky Starks. I mean, look at you. I see in your future world championships. We'll take care of Starks, because nobody says no to the Factory.
They cut off the rest of the video. Hobbs, he had told him, don't let your problems become my problems. So right after that, we had Jay Lethal, Sonjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh. They came out to the ring, and so they were bragging about taking out Wardlow at the Battle of the Belts. Jay Lethal, he had challenged Wardlow for the TBS Championship, a rematch for the championship. Either give me the match, or we're gonna go back there and find you and take that championship away from you. And so Wardlow, that's when Wardlow had came out and he accepted the challenge.
You want another shot at this? You got it. But tonight, I'm whooping all three of your asses.
Uh-oh.
No shocker there.
The FTR, yeah. Former Pinnacle partners. Got in the ring. Yeah, Sonjay, he tried to go into the ring. I don't know what he tried to get, but he didn't find nothing. Jay Lethal, he got in the ring, and FTR had hit the big rig on Jay Lethal. And so that was pretty much it with that. Yeah, it was great seeing the Pinnacle back together, I guess, for one night only. And so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews members of the JAS, so that's Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia, and Anna Jay.
We are back on Dynamite. Pipe down, Schiavone. Schiavone! I can feel it. The world can feel it. Daddy Magic wearing his lucky red. History will be made tonight. Jon Moxley! It's been a hell of a run, man. It's been a hell of a run, but it comes to an end tonight.
Because tonight is the Jericho Championship Appreciation Party. Guys, did you see the spread back there? I mean, there's hors d'oeuvres, a moves, booshes. Heck, we even got a fondue. Schiavone, you were not invited, by the way. But best of yet, we got a little bit of the bubbly because it's time for the AEW Galaxy to appreciate.
And while we're speaking of appreciation, you know who should appreciate me? Bryan Danielson. Bryan, I put you on another paid vacation with your family in your garden.
Oh,
Bryan,
wow.
I put you to sleep. I own you, because I'm a Dragon Slayer.
Ooh, what's she looking at? Oh.
You don't think he's the Dragon Slayer, huh? I'm gonna choke you out.
Oh, man. Choking everybody out. Oh. Anna Jay, she choking everybody out, man. So I'm guessing that's her thing now. I'm gonna choke you out. I'm gonna choke you out. I'm gonna choke you out. She did the same thing last week backstage. Right after that, we had a match. It was Aaron Solo with the Factory in his corner. So that's QT Marshall, Anthony Ogogo, Nick Comoroto, and Cole Carter, who is the newest member of the Factory, versus Ricky Starks. So yeah, Cole, he had tripped up Starks from outside the ring. Referee saw it, so the referee had kicked Cole away from ringside. And then Starks hit the Tornado DDT to Solo. And then to end the match, Starks, he had speared Solo to win the match. So therefore, Ricky Starks wins the match. And so right after the match, Comoroto, he tried taking out Starks with a chair. And, you know, Starks, he ended up taking out Comoroto. And so the rest of the Factory, they tried ganging up on Starks. But Starks, he evaded. So he ran through the crowd to get away from the Factory because, you know, that was a 5-on-1. Right after that, the cameras had showed Powerhouse Hobbs in the back breaking the TV monitor. So right after that, we had Lexi Nair. She was backstage and she interviews the Gun Club. So that's Billy, Colton, and Austin Gunn. So yeah, they had a dumpster match against the Acclaim last week.
Sorry, guys. I have to interrupt. I have to ask, what is the update on the Gun Club post-dumpster match loss?
That's funny because we were just going over that because I'm trying to figure out how in one night you could single-handedly ruin the only match that I made famous. See, this is what makes me miss the Acclaim. Is this stuff right?
Uh-oh.
Grandpa ass. I think it's after 8 p.m. It's past your bedtime, bro. They got some insurance and catering. How about you go get you a bottle and go home? Listen, boys, why don't you start taking your career a little more serious?
The business card.
The jokes are old and funny, but you're about to have a really bad day.
Ooh.
All right, man. I'm good.
So anyway, to make it up here, you guys, I made you a match on Rampage. Okay?
Danhausen.
That's right, me and the big bearded fellow. We'll see you Friday night.
Touch me, dude. Don't
The
touch me.
big bearded fellow. The big bearded fellow? That could have been anybody. But yeah, we found out who it was. It was Eric Redbeard, the former Eric Rowan. So Beardhausen. So that's what they call themselves, Beardhausen. So yeah, they have a match on Rampage. So right after that, Tony Schiavone, he was backstage. He interviews Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. So that's Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor.
Orange Cassidy, we're here. You wanted to show us something. What is it?
Is it?
Orange.
Oh.
Orange.
Aria Davari.
I've been trying to get a hold of you all week. You're not answering my texts. You're not answering my calls. You're not answering my emails. Now that my trust has kicked in, I'm investing my hard-earned money in the best talent in AEW. And I want to bring you to superstardom. But all you got to do is get rid of these two morons right here.
I don't know what you're talking about, but whatever your question is, the answer's no.
Hey.
Parker Boudreaux.
So that's it. That's your final answer. Your answer's no. All right. That's fine. You're going to learn firsthand what happens to people who say no to Ari Davari.
So Parker Boudreaux, Ari Davari, and I didn't know the other guy. But they call themselves the Trust Busters. And they've been competing on AEW Dark. And so right after that, we had the TBS Championship match. And it was Madison Rayne versus Jade Cargill, who is the TBS champion, with Stokely Hathaway and Kiera Hogan in her corner. Rayne was distracted by Hogan. Jade, she had speared Rayne, and she cut her right in half with that spear. Jade started using her power against Rayne. The thing about Madison Rayne, dude, she did not look good in this match, dude. She did not look good. She hesitated most of the times. And the execution of her moves, dude, like with the strikes and all that stuff, it wasn't effective. It was not effective. It looked like she lost her place in the ring with Jade. Hogan, she had gotten involved in the match again, but Jade had accidentally took out Hogan. Madison Rayne tried to go for her finishing move, the cross Rayne, but Jade, she had reversed it and turned it into the Jaded to win the match. So Jade Cargill wins the match and is still the TBS champion, and is 36-0. Right after the match, Athena, she had came from behind and she took out Jade. And Athena, she was disguised as a baddie. And so Hogan, she had got Jade out of the ring. And so that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, so Athena, she put her hands on that TBS championship. So Athena is the next challenger. I don't think she's gonna beat her. I don't know who is gonna beat Jade for that championship. It looks like Athena is the next challenger. So right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He was backstage. He interviews Thunderstorm. So that's Thunder Rosa, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, and Toni Storm. So we found out that Chris Statlander was injured. Chris Statlander, I believe she was the #1 contender for the championship, but Chris Statlander got injured, so Toni Storm is the new #1 contender.
In a big week last week for Thunderstorm, a defense for the AEW Women's World Champion, Thunder Rosa, successfully, and a win for Toni Storm. But a big announcement, Chris Statlander's been injured, and now, Toni Storm, you are propelled to the #1 contender for the AEW Women's World title.
I mean, in this sport, this happens all the time, you know, and you have to rise to the occasion. So, I mean, this is not what I want, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Of course. I mean, I didn't see it going down like this either. And next week, I will be in action, and I do plan on keeping the momentum going.
Right.
But as you know, my main goal is to one day be the AEW Women's World Champion.
Well, Tony, I wish you good luck this week, and I'm going to be there for you. But about this title match, we'll talk about it another time.
Before we get into the main event, let's talk about Rampage, and let's talk about next week's show. So yeah, for AEW Rampage, we have Bryan Danielson. He's back. So yeah, so he'll be live in the ring speaking. And then we'll also hear from Hook on AEW Rampage, the FTW champion, a new FTW champion, Hook. And also, we have the Gun Club, so that's Colton and Austin Gunn with Billy Gunn in their corner versus Beardhausen, so that's Danhausen and Eric Redbeard on Rampage. Also on Rampage, we have Parker Boudreaux versus Sonny Kiss. My Lord Jesus. Ugh. On AEW Rampage, we'll hear from the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Swerve and Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. And also we have Orange Cassidy with the Best Friends in his corner versus the Trustbusters, Ari Daivari. And also we have a AAA World Mixed Tag Team Championship match. And it's going to be the AAA World Tag Team Mixed Tag Team Champions, Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello. So yeah, congratulations to Sammy and Ty. They got married. So yeah, congratulations to them. And Ty Conti, she's going by Ty Mello. Thought she was gonna go by Ty Guevara, you know, because they're married, but she's going by Ty Mello. I believe Mello is her middle name. I believe so. So Ty Mello is her new name versus Dante Martin and Sky Blue on Rampage this Friday for the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships. And so yeah, so that's it for Rampage. Now for AEW Dynamite next week, which is being presented by House of the Dragon, Trios Championship Tournament match is gonna be Andrade El Idolo, Roosh, and Dragon Lee versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and a mystery partner. And that mystery partner is Kenny Omega, man. Kenny Omega is going to come back. We all know it, man. We have Tony Storm versus Kylan King, Dragon versus the Dragon Slayer. So it's Bryan Danielson versus Dan Garcia. And it's a best 2 out of 3 falls. So yeah, that should be really good. And of course, more Dynamite matches will be announced on Rampage. And so yeah, man, so that's it with that. Now, right after that was the main event. And the main event was for the AEW Interim World Championship, the best match on the show. And it was the Lionheart, Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, of course, he asked for the Lionheart, Chris Jericho. And so Jericho, he was wearing his Lionheart gear. He was sporting the Lionheart hairdo. And he was clean shaven, as the Lionheart was. The Lionheart was clean shaven. They used his Lionheart theme music, so no Judas tonight. So, of course, Mr. Regal, he was on commentary. Jericho, he started hitting arm jacks to Moxley. So shades of the Lionheart. And then Jericho, he was stretching Moxley. And then Jericho, he had ripped out Jon Moxley's earring, dude. And Moxley, he was bleeding from his ear. Jericho hit the lion salt to Moxley. He almost undershot it. And then both of these guys, they were going back and forth with submissions. Jericho hit the Frankensteiner to Moxley. And then Jericho, he had locked in the figure for a leg lock on the ring post. And it looked like it hurt it too, man. So yeah, so that's shades of Bret the Hitman Hart. Moxley had locked in a crossface to Jericho. Jericho reversed it and locked in the walls of Jericho. And Moxley, he was in the walls of Jericho for a long time during the commercial break. And so both of these guys, they were fighting outside the ring. And then Jericho hit a code breaker to Moxley in midair. And then Moxley had kicked out, so that was a close one. We saw something got thrown in the ring, and it was a baseball bat. And it was Sammy Guevara. He had threw Floyd the bat in the ring. And Sammy, he overshot the throw. And so right after he threw the bat, Sammy, he had ran away. And so Jericho, he hit Moxley with the bat, and then Moxley kicked out. And then Jericho, he had ran Moxley in the exposed turnbuckle. So yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Jericho had exposed the turnbuckle. So yeah, he had ran Moxley into the turnbuckle, the exposed turnbuckle. And then Jericho hit the Judas effect to Moxley, and Moxley kicked out. So I thought that was it, man. Granted, Jericho, it took him time to go over there and pin Moxley. But if he was a little bit quicker, he probably would have had it. Jericho had grabbed the AEW World Championship, and he tried to use the championship. Jericho, he had ran into the exposed turnbuckle, and so Jericho started bleeding. Moxley, he had locked in the rear naked choke, followed up by the bulldog choke. And then Jericho reversed it. He had turned it into the lion tamer. And then Moxley had got out of that. And then Moxley, he just started hitting elbow strikes to Jericho, followed up by the rear naked choke to Jericho to win the match. So Jericho tapped out. So therefore, Jon Moxley wins the match and is still the AEW Interim World Champion, dude. Great freaking match, dude. Great freaking match. And just like what I said before, this was the best match on the show, man. Best match on the show. So right after the match, Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager, they attacked Moxley. And so we had the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club came out with Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. So they all came out to fight off the heels. And so the rest of the JAS came out and took out the faces. So the faces there were outnumbered by the JAS. And so CM Punk's music had hit. CM Punk is back. the real AEW World Champion, CM Punk. And so Punk, he had took out Jericho, so that's history. That's some history right there, Jericho and Punk. So yeah, Punk had took out Jericho and the JAS. And then Punk and Moxley, they have a little bit of history too. Moxley and Punk, they stared at each other face to face. And so Moxley, he had gave Punk the finger, and he just walked away. And so that was it, man. That was some great stuff, man. That was some great stuff. There were reports saying that an injured AEW talent was going to make his return on Dynamite. And a lot of people thought it was Kenny Omega. But Kenny Omega, he's being used for that Trios Championship tournament. So what other person was injured? CM Punk was injured. I cannot wait for that unification match. The unification title match is most likely going to be at All Out. Now, who wins that match? I don't know. I don't know who wins that match. I asked that question earlier. Who wins the match? I don't know. It's a really tough one. I want to say Punk. I want to say Punk because, you know, he just made his return. But I don't know. I don't know how everybody going to take it if Punk wins the championships. Moxley was a great champion. If I had to make a major guess, they're going with Punk. This match should be really good, though. This match should be really good. And as I mentioned earlier, they do have a little bit of history. Punk and Moxley, they do have a little bit of history in WWE. Punk, he had brought in the Shield. He had brought the Shield into the WWE. He had brought the Shield into the WWE. He paid him off to take out the, you know, the baby faces of Raw. And this is when Punk was the WWE champion. And then, you know, they had a match at one point when Punk was a babyface. Dean Ambrose at the time had a match with CM Punk. And, you know, that was the only time that they fought. That was the only time that they fought in WWE. So this is a long time coming, man. Man, that was it with AEW Dynamite, dude. That was it. Great show, man. Great freaking show. Main event was the best thing on the show. Best match on the show, man. I enjoyed that match. And the Coffin match was really good too, man. We have All Out coming up. We have the Trios Championships finally introduced, and the championship tournament starts next week. And we crown the Trios champions at All Out. So yeah, that, man. And it's coming up quickly too, man. August the 30th, not August, September the 4th. It's coming up really quickly. Man, that was it with AEW Dynamite Quake by the Lake for August the 10th, 2022 on the Ryan Awesome Show. And if you like this video, man, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, if you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell to be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I am here each and every single week. Follow me on Facebook at Ryan Awesome Show, or just type in Ryan Awesome in the search engine. You'll see it. And yeah, if you missed anything, bro, everything is on the homepage. And I'll see you guys when I see you guys, man. See you guys when I see you guys. I've been watching Raw and SmackDown, bro. I've been watching it. Karrion Kross is back in the WWE. It was great seeing Karrion Kross, man. And it looks like he's going after Roman Reigns in his Universal Championship, the Undisputed Universal Championship. Yeah, man. Yep. I might start doing some Raw and SmackDown reviews. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, because, you know, I'm a busy person. I'm a really busy person, so I don't know how I'm gonna get those reviews in. Maybe I'll try to do it. I'm gonna do it one day. Mark my words, I'll do it one day. But I'll see you guys when I see you guys, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the love and the support for the show. Thank you, and thank you. And yeah, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.